All right, y'all. So for everyone out here worrying about Trump's tariffs, stop. He's doing exactly what 77 million of us patriots elected him to do. And that's to put America first instead of selling us out to everybody and their mama. All this chin boogieing that you're hearing from rhinos and liberal media, it's nothing but a bunch of noise and misguided panic attacks. Bless their hearts, but please don't believe what they're saying. Just think long-term success for a minute. I get the temporary impacts. I really do, but that's short-term. He's only in office for 4 more years. And when it comes to money, I'm going to give Trump the benefit of the doubt. He's proven it time and time again. Look at his track record. He's a businessman. He's a billionaire. He gets the job done, and he's not in it to serve himself. He donates his presidential salary every single time. So he's not doing this to get rich on the back of we the people, like we've seen these Democrat politicians do over and over again. And we just keep, or not we, I'm not voting that way, but people that vote blue, and no matter who, they just keep repeating the same thing, voting the same way, expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. So I'm not going that way. I pray for these people on the leftist liberal side. I really do, but they're making their own decisions. They've drank that Kool-Aid, digested it, hook, line, and sinker, and only them, by waking up and feeling convicted of their wrongful decisions, can come up out of that. So in the meantime, I'm trying to work our way out of trillions in debt and quit getting the short end of the stick for once. So I went ahead and compiled some clips together from folks that are way more politically smart than me, and hopefully it'll make these tariffs make some sense, just in case you're not getting it yet. Guess what, though? No matter how this stuff does play out, I've got peace because I know that God's in control. He's working all things together for good to those of us who love him. And if you're a saved Christian, you got to remember that we're only temporary citizens on this side of the grass, but we're eternally going to be citizens in heaven, where our ultimate allegiance is to the kingdom. I like staying informed on these worldly events so then I can discern the times and make wise decisions. And I can try to better understand God's will, because the Almighty is the one who put President Trump back in that White House to serve a greater purpose. The Bible tells us in Romans 13 that all souls are subject to the governing authorities, and no governing authority has been established other than by God. As long as Big 47 continues making righteous, fruitful decisions, then I'm going to support him. And I think you should too. But our trust and faith needs to be in Jesus Christ and only him. He's the name above all names. He's the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He's the only one who can transform your heart, and only through him can you get to heaven. Being MAGA is great and all, but being saved through the Lord is a whole lot greater. Amen. Let's get it poppin'.
Explain to us how you get manufacturing here, but also get the cost down for the American people.
Well, if you go back a little bit, Lawrence, remember during the first Trump administration, everybody said that Trump's tariffs were going to be inflationary back then. What actually happened? We had 1.5% inflation. We had the fastest growing economy in a generation, and we had the beginning of a manufacturing renaissance in the United States of America. Then, of course, we had 4 terrible years of the Biden administration. But I think it's useful for all of us to step back and ask ourselves, what has the globalist economy gotten the United States of America? And the answer is fundamentally it's based on 2 principles: incurring a huge amount of debt to buy things that other countries make for us. And to make it a little bit more crystal clear, we borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture. That is not a recipe for economic prosperity. It's not a recipe for low prices, and it's not a recipe for good jobs in the United States of America. For 40 years, we have gone down that pathway. We've seen closing factories. We've seen rising inflation. We've seen the cost of housing so high that most Americans can't afford to buy a home right now. President Trump is taking this economy in a different direction. He ran on that, he promised it, and now he's delivering. And yes, this is a big change. I'm not going to shy away from it, but we needed a big change, Lawrence. We cannot keep going down the Joe Biden globalist pathway where we have $2 trillion of peacetime debt and deficits. We have manufacturing disappearing. That is not working for Americans. We've got to take this country in a different direction.
The president has been focused for many decades on trade deficits and decided rightfully that the cumulative trade deficits over the years were an emergency. So the approach that the White House chose to take, that the president chose to take, is to look at the trade deficits we have with every country and think about what's the tariff rate that would bring those trade deficits into balance, because they clearly haven't been in balance for decades, and that has ravaged our manufacturing sector and hurt our ability to defend ourselves. So when you look at it that way, you start attributing all of the persistent trade deficit to other countries' policies and economic fundamentals that lead to those deficits persisting existing over time. And those tariffs are chosen in a way that ranks the countries and provides an ability to give higher deficits to, higher tariffs to countries that have cheated America and ripped off America in a worse manner, and lower tariffs to countries that have behaved better.
But what about the retaliatory? What should we look for from China, from the EU, and others?
Not a lot. What Trump did yesterday, you know, war gaming, the Pentagon sits around and every country was doing war gaming on this. Not a single country had what President Trump pulled out last night. He didn't pull out a bazooka. He pulled out like something mind-boggling.
A daisy cutter.
A bunker buster. Right. Because the methodology that they use, and you can argue with it, with trade deficits, is really intriguing. And it gave them a starting point. But no, you're going to one-up that? You can't one-up that. You really can't. It's time to come to the table. They have until April 9th. I would not be surprised to see a tidal wave of deals between now and then.
Listen, the president is the ultimate deal maker. He has been, cutting deals and making deals, first for his companies, the Trump companies, and now for the American people. There is no one better. I saw it in the first White House as his domestic policy chief for 3 years, and then now as the Secretary of Agriculture in the cabinet. His ability to make and cut deals and negotiate is unlike anything I think any of us have ever seen that have been working for a long time in policy. And now he will apply that for the benefit of the American people, the American economy, and for our farmers and ranchers. And I do believe April 9th and beyond we'll continue to see these other countries opening up their markets, allowing more of our product in, our agriculture product, and again, for our farmers and ranchers, a new age of prosperity.
Well, last year, criticizing U.S. foreign policy. What would you do differently, Donald?
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily, I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country, because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And, hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings, and we're not.
What do you think of this year's presidential race, the way it's shaping up?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. I think that probably George Bush has an advantage in terms of the election. I think that probably people would say that he's got like that little edge in terms of the incumbency, et cetera, et cetera. But I think Jesse Jackson's done himself very proud. I think Michael Dukakis has done one hell of a job. And George Bush has done a hell of a job. They all went in there sort of as semi-underdogs, including George Bush, and they've all come out. I think people that are around all three of those candidates can be very proud of the jobs they've done.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined, I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing, this country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been.
Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, ring that notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a new video. If you like what I'm doing over here and you want to show a little extra love and support, make sure you go check out our website down below in the description section. That way you can get all the awesome shirts and hoodies you see me wearing in every single video, as well as some pretty sweet tumblers and cups. They're all made by my smoking hot wife with tons of different designs to choose from. I like my clothes baggy in the winter, so you got a little extra room to move and groove approved. That's just what feels gooder than chicken to me. But we got all different sizes, ranging from itty bitty extra small to big and hefty 5X, a bunch of colors. I guarantee we got something that you'll like, or at least a great gift for someone that you love. Outside of that, you can always show support by buying me a coffee, joining the Patreon community. You can become a member of the Gibson family here on YouTube by tapping that join button. All those links are always down below in the description section. By no means do you have to do any of that. Just showing up and watching my freckle face on your screens for a few minutes, I am greatly appreciative. I love y'all, and I cannot thank you enough for rocking with me throughout the years. I think I posted my first video on this channel 7-8 years ago, and you have literally changed my life, my family's life, for the better. I just can't put into context how grateful I am for y'all. And I know we get into some tangents and some long rants sometimes, and I get fired up. That's how I like it, and that's how y'all seem to like it as well. But just thank you from the bottom of my heart. But until next time, I'll be praying for you. Godspeed. I'm gone.